All right, week 2, looking at your logo icon sketches. And first up, we're going to look at Ulysses, and you did Windsor Tea. You clearly did some research and you figured out English imagery. You've drawn 12 pretty unique ideas. There's a couple of redundancies, but for the most part, these are really nice sketches too.
Thank you very much. Appreciate that.
The lion has this sort of connection to royalty in England. You've got sort of a monogram like the W, which normally I'm not a big fan of monograms, but because this is Windsor is English, it has monograms have a certain connection there.
Okay.
And right away, the lion jumps out as a great one. I do like the Windsor Castle as a W as well. These two, 11 and 12, feel somewhat redundant. You've got,
Okay.
and it makes me think of like a candelabra or something with the little dots. I do like it visually. It's interesting. I don't know if the dots help it or not. This one, the cup of tea, is okay. I think the castle's a little more creative. So you got 1 and 2. I'm just trying to see which would be your third. See, like when you draw things like this, like Big Ben, that's sort of a visual exploration. So it's like, well, what would you do with that? Like where here you did the W and you turned it into a cup of tea. So that's given it a difference. Is there a third one that you really like out of these 12?
For me, the first thing that it came to my mind when I thought about Windsor, about England, it was the hat and the mustache, because
Yeah,
the old 1900 gentleman.
This does have some real visual impact. I wasn't sure if it was kind of dated or something, but yeah, go with that. All right. So your 3 logos you're going to take to Illustrator are number 1, number 2, and number 7.
Okay, number 1, number 2, and number 7. Yes, and I did the lion just because the lion is the national animal of England. Something that I didn't.
Yes,
something that I didn't know.
And you know what? Lions are used so much in logos, but the way you stylized it is unique and different, and it has a little crown of looks like the castle. So that's why I like that. Normally I would be like, oh, not another lion, but this is this is different. It's good.
Thank you. And I try to definitely stay away from the pretty much, I think it's overused cup of tea. Just a cup.
Yes, right. You didn't give me tea bags or cups. That's really good.
No, I was trying. Even the teapots. Like I look for tea logos and English logos and stuff like that, and everything was like a teacup, like a tea kettle. I was like, no.
Oh, these are good. Very different. All right. We're going to move on. I'm going to look at Adelaide next. There you are. You're in this group. Where are you? Let's see.
I believe I'm more towards the bottom.
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, you just passed it. Up a little bit. Right there.
There we go. All right. So you're doing Oaxaca chocolate, and you did some research about Oaxaca, Mexico, and you looked at some of the imagery from that region. That's kind of fascinating. The monkey climbing up, the cacao pods. Now, a lot of students draw into cacao pods once you start doing research, and this has the peppers, which sort of tells you a little bit about what the product is. So I like this. Normally I don't like cacao pods because they're not particularly pretty, but you sort of made it into an interesting piece of art there in number 2. There's a lot of good ideas here. So I just go sort of for visual impact. I thought number 2 jumped out. I do like number 9 and number 12, the figures. It's a little hard to create an icon. It looks like she's got the cacao pot over her head.
Yeah, it's in a basket.
I would, if there's a way you sort of create a containing shape around it and focus in on her a little bit, so that you see more of what's going on there.
Yeah, like zoom in on it basically.
And then this guy with the spear and again, you could like crop this in on the top part
Yeah,
and it would become more of an icon shape and that would
yeah,
work.
I agree with
Nice
that.
too. So what are the three that you would like? Which ones do you think are best?
I really liked the hummingbird one, because I was gonna do it in like they have like an art style called alebrije,
Yeah.
and it's like this really colorful, bright wood carvings of animals.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought that would be really cool with like the cacao flower.
Wow. Yeah.
But
This is nice. I feel like, so the reason I gravitated to these other, because I felt like they had some intrinsic visual impact, like they were just,
yeah,
and this one, yeah, this one kind of grabs you. It's just a good shape. This could work. So 2, 8, 9, 12, your choice, which three of those you're going to go with.
okay.
All right. Sertanus, we'll do you next. I think you're in this group. There you are. All right, so you didn't put this in the template where it has numbers, which is a lot handier for giving feedback. So clearly you're doing Brainiac coffee, which is the coffee that makes you smarter. So I see a lot of brains and some coffee cups. This is sort of like the head with the coffee bean in it. Is that what that is?
Yes, sir.
I kind of like that. You know, it's like replace the brain with a coffee bean. That could work. That's one idea. I'd love for you to take another shot. Yeah, there. See, that's the same idea there. Don't put the word in a shape. It's not only going to be not legible, but it doesn't work great as an icon. So this is like half brain, half coffee cup.
Yeah.
Take this one as one, and then what I want you to do is think about more like perhaps characters, or maybe there's animals or something, and get away from coffee cups and brains. Brains aren't particularly pretty. Neither are really coffee beans, but there is a relationship there, and so you captured that in this idea, which is also here. But see if you can come up with a couple more ideas that don't use cups or brains, and see where that takes you. Think about characters, personalities, you know, who uses it, and how could you sort of turn them into an interesting figure, spokesperson, kind of like icon. Is that
Okay.
helpful?
Yes, sir.
All right, great. We'll do Sammy next. I think you're in this group. I know you're not in that group, obviously.
I'm in your class and it's towards the bottom.
All right, maybe it's this group. Hmm. Do you know what section you're in? Most people don't.
I believe it's section 1.
Section 1, here we go. Did you just submit it or something?
Yeah, it's towards the bottom.
Hold on. There you are. I recognize your picture. All right, Dark Wave soap. This is soap for goth girls. The moon with the sea at night. I like that. I think that could work. This sort of looks like a test tube or something.
It's a potion bottle, yeah.
Potion bottle. Okay. I think for a potion bottle, it might be more curved, but it looks like those giant beakers that the guy used in Breaking Bad. I like the idea of this. I think you just have to think about more of, I think if it's a rounded bottle, it might work really well. Mermaid. What is she doing? It's kind of hard to see. Hold on.
She's holding bubbles.
Okay. So it's sort of from the back and yeah. The moon with the sea coming out. See, yeah, there's the potion bottle. See, these are redundant ideas. I think that this one's better. I like the idea of putting the stars in the inverted ocean, it looks like. Is that what's going on there?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I like that. It's like two phases of the moon with the ocean. Hand with the moon. I like that. These are all good. You did some thinking about what this is about. Even the bat. So I would go sort of like on visual impact. I think for sure number 1. I think this combination of 2 and 5 is good. I like the hand, but you can't sort of have like this disembodied hand trailing off. You'd want to create some sort of containing shape for the whole thing, which you could do. The mermaids are great, but they get used a lot, and I always think of Starbucks. But that's good thinking on your part. What do you like? What are the 3 you like best?
Actually, the ones that you pointed out, one was definitely a favorite. And I love the idea of the potion bottle. I just didn't know which direction I wanted
Yeah.
to get.
Mm-hmm.
And the hand is a favorite of mine. And
Okay.
my fountain, the number 8 fountain was my other.
The fountain is an interesting thing, but it's a bit complex and it doesn't visually make a great icon. You know, it's not like something that has this immediate recognition as much as like this potion bottle or the hand. I mean, I'm saying it's like a close 4th in the list.
Right.
So go for number 1, number 2/5, and number 7. Those will be your 3 to take to the next level.
Okay.
All right, who's next? Toya?
Hi, yes.
Hi, how are you?
Posted mine, so it is. I just posted it a few minutes ago.
What's
and
the
it's,
product?
I'm doing it on the Green Mountain maple
Green Mountain
candy.
maple candy, yeah.
Yes. And I just upload. I didn't put it inside of the
template.
Yes.
There we go. Okay, so this is mint maple candy. It comes from New England. You've got the Green Mountains. It's a little hard to see.
I have a red clover flower. That's the state flower for Vermont.
Huh.
And yes, and I used a horse only because of the fact that it was a horse called Morgan that they had adopted in 1961. So I was thinking of maybe using a horse, if that would be okay.
Yeah, I mean, I suppose like connect the horse to the mountains somehow like that. That's good.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
You know, if you ever saw like the Toblerone logo, it has a mountain, but there's like a bear and the snow caps.
Mm-hmm.
It's got a connection. So that would be one idea. The
Okay.
clover is interesting, sort of visual, but it's I'm having a hard time connecting it to the brand because you'd really have to like know that that's the state flower of Vermont.
Right. I think what I was trying to do was just do some of the plain ones in the beginning, because a lot of times what happens is I take pieces and I piece it together. Like maybe the horse,
Yes.
the mountain, a bird, flower, or something like that. So that was that was my concept of trying to go plain, but the words that describe them as strong, bold, So I know I would have to use a horse or something like that.
Yeah, all right. So I like the horse. I like
Okay.
this, the bird with the mountain.
Okay.
So yeah, I feel like you're still sort of at the preliminary stages because you're doing what we call visual exploration, which is just sort of drawing out
Mhm.
images related, and you haven't quite sort of pulled them together as icons. So I think you've got two solid foundation ideas, and you need to come up with that third. So I just
Okay.
encourage you to sort of keep going the way you've been. Your process is good,
Okay.
and see where that takes you for the third idea.
Okay.
So if you think about the old-fashioned way that maple syrup was harvested, it's like in, horse-drawn sleighs, and there's New England, there's all kinds of covered bridges and things like that. If you sort of like expand your visual exploration, you might connect more things.
Okay.
So hopefully that's helpful.
Yes, it is. Thank you.
All right, great. All right, Fabi. I know where you are. You're up here somewhere. There you are. All right, you're doing maritime soap. I could have guessed your icons are cool. They're right on. They feel like the ocean. You've got combinations of things, so that's really good. This is sort of like a gear with a wave in it. Is that what that is?
Yeah, that's a gear. The target audience is blue collar workers, so I
Yeah, so
try
I'm getting
to
that.
include that.
I like this. This has some visual impact. The ship feels like a ship, so like, okay, dolphin in the ship's wheel, or shark. That's a shark. I like
Part of
that.
their words was like strong and masculine,
Yeah,
so I try to
sure.
go with animals that represented that.
Yeah, that's 2, 3. These are both good ones. This is sort of a whale tail turning into bubbles. Is that what's going on there? Or
It's
splash?
supposed to be a whale tail splashing in the water, but I try to do it with like dots, like the art of dots, so it dissipates.
Surfboard, and it looks like a brush and a hammer. This is like an octopus mustache, right?
Yes.
So
I'm glad that got transmitted. I wasn't really sure.
the tentacles, this is sort of like the kraken coming out of the ocean.
Right. And then the one next to the mustache of the octopus, that's supposed to be a jellyfish that is like the shower head because of the soap.
All right.
So, and then the plumbing goes around it.
So Fabi, your creative process is great, and you've really sort of embraced the way to do this. So just the 3 that I would proceed with are 2, 3, and 7. I like 7. You have to sort of figure out a containing shape for this, like it could come around like this and the fist could be coming out the top, sort of the ocean waves. I would love for the wave to be a little more stylized or something in here. And the shark, I don't know that it's tough to draw the shark. I don't know that you need the tail part. Like it could focus more on the head.
I wanted
And-
to lower the shark so that way the bottom part was hidden behind the.
Yeah. And then give the shark some personality, if you know what I mean.
Yes.
All right. So with those 3, you should proceed and you'll do great.
I'm surprised you chose those because I kind of like my favorite one was the jellyfish for some
Yeah, you
reason.
know what it is? Jellyfish, first of all, a jellyfish sort of doesn't feel strong, masculine like a shark. It doesn't have that kind of, it doesn't have, jellyfish are kind of like a metaphor for being weak and kind of out of it.
That makes sense.
Yeah, and they're visually, it doesn't have that kind of personality like you have in some of these others. So I think that these fit the brand more. 2, 3, and 7.
Sounds good. Thank you.
Great. Professor Wood is here.
Hello, Peter. So there's just some chat on the Slack channel
Yes.
that people aren't being able to get in. When I clicked the link, it did have me put in the SSO again rather than going directly. So I'm just wondering what the issue is.
So this chat may still have the requirement that you be in your Full Sail account in order to get in.
So I should
They
just
have to log into their Full Sail
okay. All right,
Zoom.
I'll let them know and see if they're able to get in. Okay.
All right. Thank you so much. That's one of the things we were required to do with our chats. So, all right. Fabi. All right. I'm going to go back to the beginning to Riz monkey tree. You got a lot of monkeys. You've got the word written out. Make sure you don't need to write the word in your sketches. You know, remember you're doing sort of like an icon, and then you're going to do the logo type in Illustrator. So these are a little hard to see. The scans are a little dim, not contrasted and small. You're also giving me a screenshot of the page. You can export the page as a JPEG if you want from InDesign. You can export InDesign in a lot of different ways. So I like number 4. It's kind of hard to tell what this one would be. It looks like trees, maybe. Let's see, you got it here. All right, number 11, tree bark. That's not really an idea. You got a lot of monkeys. So number 4 is a monkey that could work. I think if you explore the tree idea as an image, that could work as another one. And then maybe, let's see, what's number 1? Licorice with monkey. I'm not sure, I can't tell from the drawing like clearly what that is. So you want to have 3 ideas. So number 4, which is a monkey from licorice, which is also number 2, the same idea. Monkey hanging upside down. Looks like you flipped it around for number 7. A lot of these ideas are very redundant. What your charge is to come up with 12 unique ideas. So keep that in mind. If you want to update this with some new ideas, that would be great. I think number 4, that is maybe something with the licorice. If you do the tree, that could be a 3rd idea. So I hope that's helpful. It's a little hard. You want to make these nice and clear, and they don't have to be great drawings, but they should fill the frame and be visible. And then give me a JPEG of this. I'm going to be back on tomorrow, so if you have some new ideas, I'll take a look. All right. Charles, you did not use the template, and you didn't number them, so it's just kind of hard. Chunk soap. You're writing out the word and putting a substitute image for the letter. Just remember that's not what the assignment is. You're creating an icon, and then you're going to add logo type. So that configuration is best. Looks like a couple of tools with the word chunk kind of across it and a bar of soap. I don't really see this as a great icon. It looks like just tools. This is like a word mark. So again, this is not really an icon. This is another couple of tools. So just because you change the screwdriver to a wrench, it doesn't make it a new idea. And again, it's not really an icon. Yeah, this one, again, another couple of tools. All right, here you have a character. He's kind of got a hard hat and a stylized beard. So a character is a good idea. That could be one. Another tool, a bar of soap, a screwdriver, a license plate, maybe, I don't know. I'm looking for icon ideas. This looks like a peanut. A Timberland style boat print. Okay, I'm not getting that. I think the idea of a character is interesting. You could probably come up with 3 different characters. It doesn't have to be a human. You could also, if you did the tools, could you stylize the tools to make them fit the soap product, you know? Like it's the tool to get your hands clean. So what does that look like? And don't do word marks. You're going to deal with the words in Illustrator. So I hope that's helpful. All right. Next up, we did Bobby, Anthony, Thor's coffee. These are 10 good ideas. They're in the template. They're clear. They're easy to read. The runes of kind of TC, I don't think that makes a really good, strong impact. The hammer is sort of the obvious choice right away. The horn filled with coffee is the first time I've seen that. So maybe that's one of your ideas. I do like number 3, which is Thor's head. Maybe Thor's enjoying the coffee. And this sword coming through the cup. I'm not a fan of cups, but I think that this works visually. It's got some impact. So maybe 3, 7, and 12 would be your 3 best ideas. But good job on this. Looks good. Jean, you're doing Layla's coffee, which is a coffee from North Africa, specifically like the Morocco of the world, that kind of area. So a whole map of Africa doesn't really make sense for this. There's a lot of coffee beans I see, and cups, coffee plant. Think about a character, an animal, some sort of symbol that would be North Africa. Look at Moroccan culture, Moroccan art. Don't just do Africa, it's North Africa. Hopefully that'll lend some ideas, because right now I don't really see anything that makes a great logo for this. A lot of cups. Steer away from coffee cups. Speaking of which, Osiris coffee. So this is the Egyptian coffee, brings you back from the dead. You've got the staff and the Eye of Ra. I'm not sure what 12 is. Let's see. Osiris with the name on the side. So if you did Osiris, what would your Osiris be different for your product? If you do the eye, how do you work the eye into an idea that's unique for this product? So take a look at that. That's why I say number 12 and number 3 or 6 probably are 2 ideas. And can you come up with another one? Is there an animal, a mythical animal that could be part of it? Samantha, we did yours. Lauren, Tupi Mate, which is South American. This one is kind of interesting because it's got the native headdress or something. This is that kind of teacup that they use in South America. So this is just visual exploration. These shapes, I'm not sure that they really make a great icon. You've got a cup of tea, a square cup of tea, some columns. I like this idea. A roof line, a feather, coffee plant, or tea, I don't know. And I'm not sure what that one is. Let's see. Oh, this is a yerba mate plant. All right, so the plant itself is not an idea, but if you do it in a stylized way, perhaps that could work. Same here, creating that interesting way. Okay, so this is the T and the M combined. I don't think a monogram works well for this concept, for this product. So hopefully you can come up with a third idea. Maybe there's an animal. That's a thing I always think. All right, Brianna, you did atomic cookies. So you've got a flaming, they're jelly filled cookies. So you actually drew a jelly filled cookie instead of a chocolate chip cookie. So I appreciate that. Here it is flaming. Here it is with a pepper. Here it is like a comet with a bite out of it. Here's an iguana over the cookie crying. This is number 5. It's so spicy, it makes itself cry. Rocket ship with the cookie. This looks like a chocolate chip cookie. Little pepper, number 7. These are good creative ideas. So from a visual impact standpoint, the comet is fun. This number 1 could be a good one. I like the iguana. Maybe the iguana is more of a character and you can see some personality there. Number 6 has a good visual impact, so I can see that. Those are the ones that I think are the best. If you guys sort of like a Thunderbird, I'm not really getting this visually. I like that idea, but I don't think you've kind of executed it well that you can see it. So that's something to consider. So you have several good options there. Hopefully that's helpful and you know where to go. All right, Tanner. Wacky noodles. So these are fun noodles for kids. They're like ramen, but mac and cheese. You've got a lot of W's and utensils and bowls. Number 10 is a chef's hat. How about the chef? Maybe it's a kid. Maybe it's somebody fun. Maybe it's a friendly animal that makes it for the kids. I would look at like kids cereals and see kind of how they market. They use a lot of characters. So wacky noodles, it could be kind of fun. I don't really see anything that jumps out as a great logo right away. And just sort of doing a picture of a bowl with the noodles in it is not really a logo idea. So think about the fun aspect of this and appealing to kids. Like I said, look at kids cereals and see if that gives you some more inspiration to try again. You're struggling a bit. So you need to open your mind and you'll get more ideas. All right, Omar, Black Sea Chocolate. This is from Ukraine. So I would expect to see some sort of Ukrainian imagery. They do amazing art in Ukraine. You should look that up. These look like a lot of cacao pods and some flowers. I don't really see anything that jumps out like a logo for this yet. This almost looks like an animal. Number 9. Okay, so cacao pods. So when you think about enjoying chocolate, the cacao pod is so many steps away from where, what you enjoy about chocolate. So think about that. It should have some, I think, romantic side to it. It's sea salt chocolate, so it's different than regular chocolate. Look at Ukrainian art and see if that gives you some new inspiration. Adelaide, we did yours. Beautiful. Ulysses. Allison, Granny's Secret, bourbon fudge. So you're coming up with some fun ideas here. There's Granny. She's hiding the bourbon behind her back, and she's holding her finger up to her lips to say it's a secret. Think about, in this product, bootleggers, because that's kind of where it goes. And who's Granny? More personality. So maybe there's several takes on Granny and what she's like. I think that there's different ways to show a secret, like maybe winking as well. You don't have to do them all at once. Behind the back. you look at whiskey and how it's marketed and think about cross-pollinating that with chocolate. And how it looks, how it's marketed. Trying to draw pictures of the product is just kind of difficult because it's complex and hard to figure out. A monogram, I don't know, if it was like cross-stitched needle point, maybe that would work. But I do like number 4. And the flowers kind of feel sweet and nice, which is not really kind of how this product is. It's a little more secretive and a little illegal kind of almost. So look at bootlegger stuff, look at whiskey and see how that's marketed and see if that gives you some more inspiration. But right now, I'd say number 4 is the only one I really like. All right, Stephanie, you did Olympic coffee. It's Greek coffee, kind of a Greek diner coffee that feels like, blue collar. You clearly did some research and came up with some 12 unique ideas. So good job there. I wouldn't use the Olympic rings because that's owned by the Olympic Games, which is like a very private entity. The harp as a coffee cup is good. Let's see, what's number 3? Olympic medal. Yeah, I would stay from Olympic Games stuff. 4, Mount Olympus coming out of the cup. All right, do that. What's number 6? Spartan helmet. Maybe there's a Spartan character. And I do like 11, the owl. So the ones I'm drawn to are 9, 6, and 11, and possibly 4. Good job. All right. Cheryl, you are also doing monkey tree. So you have a lot of monkeys. They're well drawn. They have personality. The monkey as a tree, that's first. I like that. This kind of cool guy monkey, because he has a lot of personality, maybe that will work. And then I wouldn't do the word mark like that. That's kind of tough. Maybe you could develop a little more of an attitude, like he's just not smiling. He's kind of having fun. I'm not giving you good help here. Keep the word mark out. All right, number 1, number 3, and visually I just sort of drawn to this one, number 4, and you have to sort of figure out how that shape finishes off, but that could be work. And if you did any more work on this, I would try to figure out how to not use a monkey and see if you can do something with that. The MT, I don't think that works great. He's kind of looking over his shoulder. Yeah, good drawings. So 1, 3, and 4. All right. Section 3. Charles, you also are doing monkey tree. Don't write out the name. You're just coming up with a visual. Monkey is good. Like I said before, you need an attitude with that. And perhaps, so the banana is like a different food product. The tree itself, if it's sort of a mythic looking tree, that could be interesting. So that's 2 ideas. You need to put these in the template with numbers so I can see, refer to the numbers. I'm not sure what that one is. A box. And yeah, don't write out the name. So is there more to do with licorice, maybe, perhaps? I guess I like this one, and I like a monkey with some attitude, if you can create that. And then you need a third idea, and I'm not really seeing a great third idea right here. So maybe keep going on that. All right, Anthony. Let's see, I don't think I've seen yours yet. Anthony, did you have trouble getting into the Zoom? Anthony. All right, I'm going to keep going. So, Anthony, I haven't seen your work. Did you post something? Yes, Mary. So you're doing Café de Provence, which is a gourmet coffee from France. You've got a coffee cup, a French press, a coffee cup, a coffee bean, the word and a shape, coffee cup with writing on it, a paper coffee cup with a croissant, 3 coffee beans, the word mark, a coffee cup with hearts in the foam, a bag of coffee beans, and looks like cake, coffee cup, whipped cream. Don't do the word mark. Oh, Cheryl, I just looked at your stuff. Yes, Mary, don't do word mark. You're doing an icon. Think about France, gourmet coffee, sitting outside at the cafe in Provence. Provence is a beautiful part of France, not Paris. Outside, they grow a lot of lavender there. Try to look for some new ideas, and don't do the word mark yet. You're going to just, as instructed, you just want to do the icon, and then you're going to add the word mark after. Oops. So this is, an interesting idea, and it could work, but for this assignment, I want you to create a visual icon for the brand. Olivia, Black Sea Chocolate. Yeah, so these are interesting ideas. You need to put them in the template. You need to have 12. The crown is nice. Black Sea is from the Ukraine, so it's sort of like a Ukrainian thing. Pearls made of chocolate. This sort of like floating doesn't really work. The diamonds are kind of overused a little bit. I'm not sure with the gold bars, how they connect. Royalty crowns. I like the crown. And the rest looks like a jewelry store or something. So I would look more at the artwork of Ukraine and see what kind of things come up there. That could give you some additional ideas so that you have 3. All right, hold on. All right, Caitlin. Oh, Cheryl, by the way, if you don't want to stick around, it's fine, but you can stick around if you want. Olympic Coffee. These are nice sketches. They need to be in your template. And so I have the numbering, and you don't need the word, just the picture. This one is a little too Disney. This really looks like you just sort of traced over the Disney Hercules. But the idea of Hercules is a great idea. I think that's a wonderful thing to bring in. Here he is. He's got his cup of coffee. So Hercules with a cup of coffee is a good idea, but your execution has to be further away from Disney. Don't do a word mark. Don't use Olympic rings because that's the Olympic Games. The strong coffee muscle, this kind of works if it had some sort of Greek key around it or something. This is like Olympic Games. This coffee pot is sort of unappealing, but I appreciate the idea there of combining those things. Maybe it's a cup with steam coming out. The Scales of Justice, a column. 3 ideas. This one executed differently, so it doesn't look like Disney. This one with some Greek styling, and then this one with a cup instead of a pot. All right, Rebecca, Oaxaca chocolate. You did some research into Oaxaca. These sketches look like wonderful beginnings to an illustration. They're too complex. You need to simplify them down to an icon. I see this bird. It's diagonal. I mean, it's, going the wrong direction. That bird by itself could be perhaps an icon. This looks like a guy in the agave fields. I'm not sure if agave is a Oaxaca thing or it's further north. Landscapes. I'm having a hard time sort of pulling out icons for this. The girl with the headdress of flowers is definitely something you could use. So number 7, number 12 with just the bird. But again, think of more sort of like iconic symbols instead of drawing a whole landscape and detailed illustration. You want it to be simple and clear, even at small sizes. So hopefully that's helpful. All right, Emily, you're doing Grandma's Kitchen, which is the fudge infused with bourbon. I gave some feedback on this earlier, this product. Think about bootlegging. I love Grandma as a figure, like a character. That's something you could explore. I've not seen this sort of like fudge floating in the bourbon, which is conceptually kind of cool for the product, but visually, I think it looks kind of gross. So maybe not. Let's see, what's number 10? The middle-aged woman with the, probably bottles of bourbon aren't quite the right thing, but look at bootlegger stuff and look at bourbon advertising and see if you can sort of combine that with a sweet old grandma, and you might come up with some really cool ideas. So, but so far either 1 or 4, and 2 more ideas. How's that? All right. I think I got everybody. So Anthony, I'm going to pause this. All right, guys, that's it for today, Thursday. I will be back on Friday at noon. I hope you are able to keep going, and I look forward to seeing more work.
Okay. So tomorrow on Friday at 12, you'll be on, not
Yes.
tomorrow. I mean, that is tomorrow. I'm sorry.
Yes.
Okay. Time is moving so fast. Okay.